Have you ever felt the subtle weight of expectations, the unspoken pressure to conform, a sense that the path you're walking isn't truly yours, but rather one paved by the desires and beliefs of others? This is the illusion of dependence, a gilded cage where comfort comes at the cost of your authentic self. Nietzsche, a solitary wanderer in the landscape of the human soul, recognized this insidious trap. He saw how societal norms, like gentle tendrils, could slowly suffocate the individual will, eroding critical thought and replacing it with borrowed values. His philosophy isn't a gentle suggestion, it's a thunderous call to arms, a demand to become who you are. But what does it truly mean to heed this call? It means rejecting the comforting embrace of the herd, daring to question everything you've been told, and embarking on a perilous journey into the uncharted territories of your own being. It means confronting the abyss of uncertainty, where familiar landmarks disappear and you're left to navigate by the compass of your own intuition. This path is not for the faint of heart. It demands courage, resilience, and an unyielding commitment to truth, even when that truth is uncomfortable. It requires you to face your shadow self, those hidden aspects of your nature that you'd rather keep buried, as Jung so eloquently described. But the rewards are immeasurable. For in dismantling the illusion of dependence, you forge an unshakable personal philosophy, a fortress of self-reliance that no external force can penetrate. You discover the wellspring of your own creative power, and you begin to live a life of profound meaning and purpose. Over the next minutes, we will explore the 7 Nietzschean keys to unlocking this radical independence. These are not mere intellectual exercises. They are tools for dismantling the chains of dependence and cultivating the unwavering self-reliance that Nietzsche so passionately championed. Are you ready to begin this journey? Are you ready to claim your own sovereignty? The journey to radical independence begins with a profound and often misunderstood concept, Amor Fati. It's a phrase that whispers of destiny, of acceptance, but it's far more potent than mere resignation. Too often, Amor Fati is misinterpreted as passive acceptance, a sort of fatalistic shrug in the face of adversity. But Nietzsche envisioned something far more transformative. Amor Fati, in its truest form, is an active embrace. It's not simply tolerating what is, but loving it, owning it, and using it as fuel for self-overcoming. It's the unwavering recognition that everything that has happened is happening, and will happen is an intrinsic part of your journey, a necessary ingredient in the alchemy of your becoming. Nietzsche understood that resentment and victimhood are the enemies of self-reliance. They are shackles that bind you to the past, preventing you from fully inhabiting the present and shaping your future. Amor Fati dismantles these destructive emotions by forcing you to confront reality head-on, to accept it without judgment, and to find within it the seeds of your own liberation. How can you begin to cultivate this radical acceptance in your own life? Start with a simple exercise. First, identify a past trauma or a present challenge that continues to hold you captive. Second, reframe this experience by asking yourself, what lessons did I learn? What strengths did I develop? How did this experience shape me into the person I am today? Third, consciously choose to embrace this experience as an integral part of your story, a catalyst for growth and empowerment. The neuro-emotional impact of embracing Amor Fati is profound. When you shift from a reactive, fear-based state to a proactive, resilient mindset, you literally rewire your brain. You enhance your self-efficacy, your belief in your ability to overcome challenges, and you unlock a wellspring of inner strength that you never knew existed. Imagine a sculptor faced with a flawed block of marble. Instead of discarding it, lamenting its imperfections, the sculptor sees the potential for a masterpiece. They embrace the flaws, working with them, transforming them into an integral part of the final creation. This is Amor Fati in action. It's the artist's acceptance and mastery of life's imperfections, the unwavering belief that even the most challenging circumstances can be transformed into something beautiful and meaningful. Embrace your fate not as a burden, illusion, but as the unbreakable foundation of your self-reliance. Our quest for radical independence continues, leading us to a second crucial key, perspectivism. Prepare to shatter the illusion of objective truth, for in doing so, you unlock the power to forge your own reality. We often cling to the belief that there exists a single, unassailable truth, a universal standard against which all things can be measured. But Nietzsche challenged this notion, arguing that human perception is inherently subjective. Our biases, our experiences, our cultural conditioning, all these factors shape our understanding of the world, coloring it with our own unique hues. This isn't to say that truth is a meaningless concept. Rather, it suggests that truth is multifaceted, a mosaic composed of countless perspectives. Nietzsche saw this as a liberating realization. If absolute truth is an illusion, then we are free to create our own meaning, to construct our own values, to define our own reality. One of the greatest dangers to perspectivism is the intellectual echo chamber, surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals, consuming only information that confirms our existing beliefs, reinforces our biases, and hinders critical thinking. We become trapped in a self-made prison, unable to see beyond the walls of our own convictions. How can we break free from these echo chambers and cultivate a more nuanced understanding of the world? One practical tool is the devil's advocate exercise. Deliberately challenge your own beliefs. Seek out opposing viewpoints. Question your assumptions. Uncover the hidden biases that may be clouding your judgment. This process can be uncomfortable, even painful. It requires intellectual humility, a willingness to admit that you might be wrong, but the rewards are immense. By embracing perspectivism, you cultivate empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, even those whose viewpoints differ radically from your own. You foster genuine connection, building bridges across divides of ideology and belief. Remember, radical independence isn't about isolating yourself from the world. It's about engaging with it fully, with open eyes and an open mind, recognizing the inherent subjectivity of human perception and embracing the power to forge your own reality. We now arrive at the third key to radical independence, a concept often shrouded in controversy and misunderstanding: the will to power. It's time to unleash your inner drive, not as a force for domination, but as a pathway to self-mastery. The will to power is perhaps Nietzsche's most misinterpreted idea. It's frequently portrayed as an aggressive, domineering force, a ruthless pursuit of control over others. But this is a gross distortion of Nietzsche's true intention. Nietzsche envisioned the will to power as an inherent striving for growth, mastery, and the realization of one's full potential. It's the life force that drives us to overcome challenges, to push beyond our limitations, to create and to innovate. It's not about subjugating others. It's about conquering ourselves. But what sabotages this vital force within us? What prevents us from fully harnessing the will to power? Unacknowledged resentment, self-doubt, and the fear of failure are among the most potent obstacles. These negative emotions drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and paralyze our will. How can we overcome these obstacles and unleash our inner drive? One powerful technique is to set audacious goals that stretch our capabilities and push us beyond our comfort zone. Don't be afraid to aim high, to pursue dreams that seem impossible, and when you inevitably encounter setbacks, embrace them as learning opportunities, as stepping stones on the path to mastery. Nietzsche himself provides a powerful example of the transformative power of the will to power. Throughout his life, he suffered from debilitating physical ailments and profound existential crises. Yet he channeled this suffering into creative genius, producing some of the most influential philosophical works of all time. He didn't allow his challenges to define him. He used them as fuel for his own self-overcoming. The will to power is not about brute force or ruthless ambition. It's about cultivating the inner strength to overcome your limitations, to embrace your potential, and to create a life of meaning and purpose. purpose. It's about becoming the master of your own destiny. Our journey toward radical independence continues with the fourth key, one that delves into the hidden power dynamics that shape our values and beliefs, master-slave morality. Prepare to decode these dynamics and free yourself from the insidious grip of resentment. Resentment is a corrosive force, a slow-burning poison that can erode self-reliance and undermine our capacity for joy. It arises from suppressed anger and feelings of inferiority, festering within us until it contaminates our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. Nietzsche, in his profound analysis of master-slave morality, illuminated how oppressed groups often create value systems that subtly undermine their oppressors. While this can be a form of psychological resistance, it can also perpetuate a cycle of victimhood, trapping individuals in a mindset of resentment and powerlessness. Society, too, often distorts the image of the master, equating strength and independence with arrogance and ruthlessness. This discourages individuals from embracing their own power, fearing that they will be perceived as selfish or immoral. How can we break free from this cycle of resentment and reclaim our personal agency? One powerful technique is to practice radical forgiveness. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior or excusing the actions of those who have wronged us. Rather, it means releasing the emotional burden of bitterness, freeing ourselves from the chains of the past. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power, refusing to allow resentment to define your life. It's about choosing freedom over bitterness, self-respect over victimhood. By decoding master-slave morality and practicing radical forgiveness, we cultivate genuine self-respect and empathy. We transcend the cycle of victimhood and resentment, embracing our own power without resorting to arrogance or ruthlessness. We become truly independent, free from the hidden power dynamics that once controlled us. We arrive now at the fifth and perhaps most challenging key to radical independence: eternal recurrence. Prepare for the ultimate test of authenticity, a thought experiment that forces us to confront the very essence of our existence, living a life worth repeating. Imagine for a moment that you are condemned to live the same life with all its joys and sorrows, its triumphs and failures for eternity. Every moment, every decision, every relationship endlessly repeated without variation. This is the terrifying proposition of eternal recurrence. Nietzsche didn't intend this as a literal prophecy, but as a profound call to action. He wanted us to live each moment with intention and purpose, ensuring that our lives are worthy of infinite repetition. He challenged us to ask ourselves, are we living authentically? Are we pursuing our true values? Are we creating a life that we can wholeheartedly embrace, even in its darkest moments? But what might hinder our ability to achieve this profound self-understanding, this self-overcoming, this capacity to navigate complex human dynamics with wisdom, to cultivate unshakable inner strength, and achieve radical independence in the face of eternal recurrence? The answer, perhaps surprisingly, lies in dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with motivation and reward. Dopamine can be a powerful motivator, driving us to pursue our goals and achieve our ambitions, but it can also lead us astray, tempting us with fleeting pleasures and superficial rewards that ultimately detract from our true purpose. We may become addicted to the pursuit of dopamine hits, sacrificing long-term fulfillment for short-term gratification. To truly embrace eternal recurrence, we must transcend this dopamine-driven cycle. We must cultivate a deeper sense of purpose, a commitment to values that transcend fleeting pleasures. We must learn to find joy not in the pursuit of reward, but in the inherent value of our actions. A practical exercise: reflect on your daily choices and ask yourself, would I be content to repeat this action for eternity? Adjust your behavior accordingly, aligning your actions with your values and aspirations. Remember Zarathustra's encounter with the dwarf, a symbolic confrontation with the weight of existence. Embrace the challenge of creating a life of meaning and purpose, a life so rich and fulfilling that you would gladly live it again and again for all eternity. Our exploration of the 7 Nietzschean Keys to radical independence draws to a close, but the journey itself is just beginning. Remember, radical independence is not a destination, a fixed point to be reached and then passively enjoyed. It is rather a continuous process of self-overcoming, a relentless commitment to challenging oneself, embracing adversity, and striving for personal growth. As you embark on this journey, it's crucial to consider the ethical implications of unwavering self-reliance. The pursuit of independence can easily veer into egoism, a self-centered focus that neglects the needs and well-being of others. True radical independence, however, transcends this narrow perspective. It embraces responsibility and empathy, recognizing that our actions have consequences that ripple outwards, affecting the lives of those around us. Think of Jung's concept of individuation, the lifelong process of psychological differentiation, having for its goal the development of the individual personality. The process of individuation is, in most cases, impossible without the conscious coming to terms with one's own shadow. Integrating these Nietzschean keys can serve as a potent catalyst for psychological wholeness and authentic self-expression. By confronting our shadow selves, by embracing Amor Fati, by cultivating Perspectivism, by harnessing the will to power, by decoding master-slave morality, and by embracing eternal recurrence, we move closer to becoming fully realized individuals, capable of living lives of profound meaning and purpose. So, what now? How will you integrate these principles into your own life? How will you use these keys to unlock your own radical independence? I encourage you to actively apply these principles in your daily life. Experiment with them. Reflect on them. Share your experiences in the comments below, fostering a community of independent thinkers, a space where we can challenge each other, support each other, and inspire each other on this ongoing journey of self-discovery. The path to radical independence is not easy. It demands courage, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to truth. But the rewards are immeasurable. For in embracing radical independence, you unlock the door to authentic power and fulfillment, becoming the master of your own destiny and living a life that is truly, undeniably your own. What will you create with this newfound freedom?